When it comes to relationships, Sigma males don't just go with the flow. These independent men know what they want and aren't afraid to set clear expectations. While they're not out to control their partners, they do have certain standards they won't compromise on. These non-negotiables aren't about being picky or difficult. They simply reflect the values and principles that Sigma males hold dear. Here are 7 non-negotiables for Sigma men in a relationship. Number 1. Using guilt trips to influence decisions. Do you know that feeling when someone's trying to make you feel bad just to get their way? That's a guilt trip, and it's something Sigma males simply can't stand. A study by the University of Arizona found that 96% of people use guilt as a tactic to influence others. But while it might work on some guys, Sigma men see right through it. These men can't stand when their partner pulls the guilt card. It's like a punch to the gut of the relationship. Imagine hearing stuff like, "If you really cared about me, you'd do this," or "I guess I'm just not important enough to you." It's manipulative, plain and simple, and Sigma men are not having it. They appreciate honesty and straight talk, so they want a partner who can discuss things openly, not someone who plays mind games. When a woman starts laying on the guilt, it doesn't make a Sigma male more likely to give in. If anything, it pushes him away. He might feel a flicker of annoyance, but it won't change his mind. Using guilt is like trying to win a battle, but losing the war. Sure, she might get her way in the short term, but at what cost? It creates resentment, damages trust, and makes the relationship feel more like a power struggle than a partnership. Sigma men aren't looking for someone to control them. They'd want an equal who can communicate without resorting to emotional manipulation. These men can be plenty sensitive to their partner's needs and feelings. They're not cold or uncaring, but they expect their partner to express those needs directly, not through guilt or manipulation. When someone tries to make them feel guilty, they'll either stand their ground or simply walk away from the situation. In the long run, guilt trips create a toxic environment. They breed distrust and make both people feel unhappy. While it might seem like a way to get what you want in the moment, Sigma men are not afraid to call it out or even end a relationship over it. They'd rather be single than stuck with someone who can't communicate honestly. Number 2. Controlling behavior. Did you know that controlling behavior in relationships can actually rewire your brain? A groundbreaking study from UCLA found that people in controlling relationships show similar brain patterns to those experiencing physical pain. For Sigma males, this isn't just uncomfortable, it's downright intolerable. Nobody likes feeling like they're on a short leash. When it comes to controlling behavior, Sigma men have zero tolerance. It's like a poison that slowly kills the relationship, and these guys can smell it from a mile away. Imagine being told what to wear, who to hang out with, or how to spend your free time. That's not a partnership. It's more like having a boss instead of a girlfriend. Controlling behavior can show up in sneaky ways. Maybe she's always checking his phone, or she gets upset when he wants to spend time with friends. She might try to disguise it as concern or love, but Sigma men see it for what it really is, a lack of trust and an attempt to dominate. These guys aren't looking for someone to mother them or run their lives. They want a partner who's secure enough to let them be themselves. When a woman starts trying to control everything, that's when Sigma men start looking for the exit. It's not just annoying, it can be emotionally damaging. Constantly being told what to do or how to act can chip away at a person's self-esteem. While Sigma males are usually strong and independent, they're not going to stick around in a situation that makes them feel less than. If she can't trust him to make his own decisions or have his own life outside the relationship, that's her issue to deal with, not his to accommodate. Sigma men aren't afraid to set boundaries when it comes to controlling behavior. They'll call it out when they see it, and if it doesn't stop, they're not afraid to take action. They value their freedom and individuality too much to let anyone cage them in. Number 3. Clear boundaries with exes. Did you know that a survey by YouGov found that 48% of people remain friends with their exes? While that might work for some, it's a definite no-go for Sigma men. These guys aren't about playing games or leaving room for confusion when it comes to past relationships. Clear boundaries with exes aren't just a preference, they're a necessity. They're not interested in dealing with the drama and complications that can arise when old flames are still flickering in the background. It's not about jealousy or insecurity. It's about respect and clarity in their current relationship. Imagine your partner constantly texting their ex, or worse, meeting up for friendly coffee dates. For a Sigma, this isn't just uncomfortable, it's downright disrespectful. They believe that when a relationship ends, it should stay ended. No fuzzy lines, no just friends situations that could lead to misunderstandings or worse. These men aren't afraid to communicate their expectations clearly. They want a partner who understands that maintaining close ties with an ex can create unnecessary tension and doubt in their current relationship. It's not about controlling who their partner talks to. It's about establishing mutual respect and trust. Sigma males aren't naive. They know that sometimes exes pop up in social circles or work environments, but they expect their partner to handle these situations with maturity and transparency. A quick hello at a party may be fine, but regular catch-up sessions or late-night texts, not so much. Sigma men value loyalty and commitment, so when they're in a relationship, they're all in and expect the same from their partner. Keeping an ex around can feel like keeping a back door open, and that's not something they're willing to tolerate. This doesn't mean they're unreasonable. They understand that co-parenting situations or occasional professional interactions might be necessary, but they draw a clear line between necessary communication and maintaining an emotional connection. It's really simple for Sigma. The past is the past. They're focused on building a future with their current partner, not rehashing old relationships or leaving room for what-ifs. Any woman who can't respect these boundaries might find herself joining the ranks of exes herself. Number 4. Being the only one making sacrifices. Many guys find themselves in relationships where they feel like they're the only ones putting in the effort. They make all the sacrifices, bend over backwards, and keep giving without seeing anything in return. While this may work for some couples, it's not something a Sigma man is willing to accept. Sure, he's willing to make sacrifices because that's part of caring for someone. However, he knows it's a problem if he's the only one carrying the weight. It's about teamwork and both partners putting in the same energy. He'll quickly feel that something's off if he's always the one changing plans, giving up time with buddies, or doing things he doesn't want to do just to keep the peace. When he spots this imbalance, he'll not shy away from having a conversation about it. If things aren't even, you can bet he's going to bring it up calmly and clearly. He'll ask for a change. Nothing dramatic, just a friendly chat about making sure both people are happy in the relationship. This isn't about throwing a tantrum or acting like a spoiled kid. It's about being real and fair. If she's not willing to make a little effort to keep the relationship strong and balanced, it may be time for him to reevaluate his priorities. A Sigma man isn't afraid of walking away from someone who doesn't appreciate him or put in the same amount of effort he does. After all, why settle when you deserve so much more? Number 5. Starting arguments over trivial matters. Sigma men can't stand pointless arguments over small things that don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. They prefer peace and would rather avoid arguments altogether if possible. When disagreements do arise, they are usually logical and calm in their approach, trying to find a solution rather than just proving a point. Starting unnecessary conflicts can be a major deal breaker for Sigma men who prefer to keep drama to a minimum in their relationships. While they don't shy away from difficult conversations, they aren't interested in petty arguments that serve no purpose. Imagine bickering about where to eat or who left the cap off the toothpaste. These are tiny issues that don't deserve a big fight. They prefer having calm and friendly discussions. If something is bothering them, they'd rather talk about it openly rather than blow things out of proportion. Constant arguing can drain happiness out of any relationship. Instead of nitpicking, the Sigma man prefers to keep the focus on the bigger picture because that's what truly matters in the long run. This doesn't mean that Sigma men never have disagreements or conflicts in their relationships. It's just that they choose their battles wisely. Number 6. Emotional maturity. When it comes to women, Sigma men aren't asking for the moon. But emotional maturity, that's a big deal. We're talking about someone who can handle their feelings without turning every little thing into a drama fest. You know those people who fly off the handle at the smallest problem. That's not gonna cut it. A Sigma man wants someone who can keep their cool when things get tough. It's not about never getting upset. We're all human after all. It's more about how you deal with those emotions. They're looking for someone who can say, "I'm feeling upset right now," instead of slamming doors or giving the silent treatment. It's about being able to talk things out like adults, even when the conversation gets a bit uncomfortable. And let's be real, life isn't always sunshine and rainbows. A partner who can roll with the punches, celebrate the good times without letting it go to their head, and not fall apart when things don't go as planned. That's golden. It's also about owning up to your mistakes. Nobody's perfect, right? But someone who can say, "Yeah, I messed up, and I'm going to work on that," instead of always pointing fingers. That's the kind of maturity Sigma men are after. They want someone who's got their act together emotionally, someone who can be supportive without being clingy, who respects boundaries, and who's secure enough in themselves to let the relationship grow without losing their own identity. It's about finding that sweet spot between being independent and being a team player. Number 7. Dropping hints instead of speaking directly. Have you ever noticed how some women never seem to say what they really mean? They drop hints, beat around the bush, and expect their partner to read their mind. Well, that's not going to fly with Sigma males. These men aren't into playing guessing games with their partner's feelings or wants. A study by the University of Texas found that men's brains are wired to take things literally, while women tend to use more indirect communication. This can lead to more misunderstandings and conflicts in relationships. It's no wonder Sigma men can't stand it. They prefer straightforward talk, no hidden meanings or subtle clues. When their partner starts dropping hints instead of just saying what's on her mind, it's like nails on a chalkboard for them. Sigma men don't have time or patience for decoding cryptic messages or interpreting vague suggestions. If she wants something, she should just say it. If she needs help, she should ask for it. If she's feeling upset, she should tell them why. It's that simple. This habit of hinting can be frustrating and even feel manipulative to a Sigma. He might think, "Why can't she just tell me what she wants?" It creates unnecessary tension and can even cause arguments when the miscommunication leads to misunderstandings. It's really exhausting trying to figure out what she really means all the time. While some women might see hint dropping as a way to avoid conflict or seem less demanding, Sigma men see it differently. It's a sign of immaturity or lack of confidence. They respect partners who can express themselves clearly and directly, even if it's sometimes uncomfortable.